you want to train to reduce your golf handicap but don't have time to go to the gym, a resistance band workout is your best option. In this video, we're going to focus on using a resistance band similar to this, which come in different strengths and sizes. These are great for introducing resistance, so getting the body used to some basic strength training. They're also very cheap, versatile to use, can be used in limited space, and also great when traveling. To start all good routines, we want to focus on mobility through the hips and the thoracic spine to get them opened up and moving well. The first one we're going to do is trying to get the hips moving with a resistance band. We're going to focus on 8 to 12 repetitions. We need to attach the band to something stable and place it around the hips. From there, you're going to shuffle forward slightly so there's plenty of tension on the band. Get the knees as wide as physically possible, so you should almost feel like you're stretching out the inside of your thighs. You're going to sit your bum to your heels with your hands on the floor. From this position, as you sit down, you should feel like those inner thighs, those groin areas are starting to stretch. You're going to hold that for about 2 to 3 seconds. You're then going to lift up to the top, so you're almost pulling the band, taking the stretch off a little bit, sitting back down and repeating the motion. Now we're going to move on to opening up the thoracic spine. So we're going to start by being on both knees. We're going to bring one leg forward, so we create like a 90-degree angle with that front foot. We're going to stretch the band apart with both arms so it's fully locked out across the chest. We're going to slightly lean forward from the hip, so almost like a little bit of a hip hinge. From here, whichever leg's at the front, we're going to rotate the chest into that front hip, trying to keep in that slight forward bend. A controlled motion, holding it for no more than a couple of seconds in that full rotational position. And then as we come back to the center, we'll swap legs, roughly focusing on 8 each side. Exercise 1, we're going to do a resisted split squat. We want to start by placing the band through the heel, so through the loop. We're going to then lift the band up over the shoulders. We're going to take a nice stride length back, so we end up naturally on that tiptoe. Not so long where you're really stretching the back hip, but long enough where you don't feel cramped at the bottom. The key with this, with the band, because it's trying to pull the upper body forward, we've got to try and stay upright, head and chest up. In a controlled manner, we're going to squat down, tap the back knee, and push straight back to the top in a vertical manner. Key here is trying to focus like the front of the heel stays really planted to the floor and you stay tall throughout the motion. Exercise 2, we're going to go into a staggered stance torso rotation. So we're going to start with the feet shoulder width apart. We're going to bring one foot about 2 feet behind us, no real longer than this. We're then going to take the resistance band overhead and place it over and around the shoulders. From here, we want to try and create a bit of a golf posture, but an excessive version. So you can see how we've got a good hip hinge, chest facing the floor, let the arms hang down. From here, we're going to turn into the front hip. So whichever leg's at the front, we're trying to turn into that hip, keeping the arms out in front. So it's a feeling of the chest is rotating in and around the hip. The key to this exercise is feel like the front heel, when you rotate, is pushing hard into the ground. That's going to help keep the hip nice and stable and create some rotation around the spine and hip in the correct manner. If you want to give this routine a try and you'd like to purchase the bands like we're using in the video, follow the link in the description. Now we're going to move on to exercise 3. We're going to go into a resisted bent over row. So we want to place the band on the floor in a straight line. We're going to stand on it on the heels, which is super important, and then put our hands through the loops. We're going to stand up nice and tall. From here, we want to feel like the back stretched out, the chest is almost pushed forward. We've hinged down so the chest is almost facing the floor, almost like a 90-degree angle. And from there, we're just creating a simple rowing motion, feeling like the elbows drive towards the back pockets, and we can almost squeeze the muscles at the top as we go, focusing on not lifting out of posture during the rowing motion. Exercise 4 is a raised resisted push-up. The height of the bench or chair, something that you're going to use, the higher it is, the easier the push-up, so determine what that looks like for yourself. We're going to take the band and place it under our armpits. From there, we're then going to put both hands onto the bench. Sometimes, depending on what feels easy, you can put it on the corner or flat. but we just want to try and create a straight position from the back of the head to the heels, so the hips aren't really high up or really low. We're just going to try and then push down to the bench and then push as hard as we can going up, overcoming the resistance on the band. But the key is when we push up, we don't lose that core shape. So we keep that nice straight line and we move powerfully throughout. So exercise 5, we're going to go into a shoulder external rotation. We want to start with the feet shoulder width apart. We're going to hinge into a golf posture, roughly maybe like a mid-iron as a rule of thumb. We're going to bring the elbows up to shoulder height. We're going to apply a little bit of tension on the band, but not a lot, enough where it's just not slack. Keeping this angle, we're just going to rotate the shoulders up, keeping that tension on the band, hold it for a few seconds, and we're going to go down and repeat that motion, trying to feel like we keep that 90-degree angle in the shoulder turn and maintaining that posture as we go. Final exercise, exercise 6, we're going to go into a golf posture power-loft raise. We're going to attach the band to something stable, ideally low down, but it can be higher up, it doesn't matter too much. We're going to, from side on, shuffle a little bit away so the band then creates a bit of tension. We're going to create a good strong golf posture by hinging the hips back, strong base, gripping the band nice and tight. From there we're going to simply just lift the band upwards with the arms nearly straight, which is going to create more tension through the core, through the legs that we've got to be able to resist against. And in a controlled manner, we're just lifting up and down, trying to maintain posture throughout. Depending on your physical capacity will depend on how easy you find each exercise with the resistance bands. You can see here I've got 3 different resistance bands, all at different strengths. Some of the exercises you'll want like a stronger one, which will be much thicker, whereas others you'd want a lighter one. So find out which is your kind of strength, do this routine up to 3 times a week and build up through the resistance bands rather than increasing the reps. Once you've worked through this routine and you feel like you want to take it up the next level, try one of our kettlebell routines that's going to help move you forward.